Hello, Atlanto.
Hi Abby, how you doing?
Do this. Whew. Let's do it.
Alright, I'm gonna go. Hey everyone, our event is going to be starting in a few minutes. If you guys could take your seats, that would be great. Um, it's great to see such a good turnout. We're so glad you could take the time and come in. Today's a really exciting day. A really exciting day. This is our first soft launch, our first event, and we're really excited to show you what we've been working on. But first, a lot of you might not be familiar with us, so I think introductions are in order. I'm Ojasman. I co-founded Feather, a small team of interdisciplinary tech geeks from the worlds of marketing, tech, science, and art. We've been working together for a while, and we are thrilled to be operating in a tech landscape that can sometimes feel like science fiction. Today, you can experience the joy of getting lost in hyper-realistic fantasies, create amazing art with cutting-edge creative tools, and build and ship complex software projects independently, all through your personal computer. You can do all this and more until your computer reaches their limit. Until your PC starts heating up your room as you try to play any modern video game, or Photoshop breaks and hangs on you for the fifth time in a day, or Blender takes hours to render your latest masterpiece, or your next big software project becomes a bit too much for your PC to handle. We have to ask ourselves that why is it when you actually push the limits of your devices, when you ask your devices to keep up with you, they always fall short? Why are we limited to the processing power on our individual devices? We simply shouldn't be, which is why we are making Feather, a new way of seamlessly accessing and sharing the power of your devices so that you can work, play, and collaborate across computers that can keep up with you. Here's a little taste of what Feather is all about.
Wirelessly accessing your own PC sucks. If you're not paying a fortune, you're stuck with unusable lag, terrible UI, or you simply need a degree in rocket science to even get started. It's 2022, and still, the only way to access your computer remotely is using software built on decades-old technology. At Feather, we believe users should be in control of their compute. So, we changed how you access it from the ground up. Feather shares the processing power of your PC with all your other devices. Think of it as a little server of your own, right at home. Simply connect to your PC, wirelessly pair with your device, and accelerate anything. On anything, as easy as the click of a button. Feather lets you do more with the devices you already own. Feather, set free the power of your PC.
And now, I'll hand it off to my co-founder Kyle to talk about Feather and its exciting future. Kyle, please come on.
Thanks, Ojas. Here at Feather, our guiding principle is compute should happen where it's best for it to happen. Instead of running software on a single machine, we want to split the work between devices on your local network, a process also known as distributed computing. After all, if your mobile devices like your phones and tablets are light, portable, and optimized for ease of use, why would you try running complex graphics software on it? Or games? Or big compile jobs? This compute should happen on stronger, more powerful computers that are already near you. Feather takes the compute that your client computer isn't optimized for and distributes it across your devices. So, if you want the portability and convenience of using your laptop, but also want the power of your desktop computer, simply install Feather on your devices, connect, and start using an interactive video stream of each of your individual applications. Feather gives you lower latency, higher quality, and ease of use, all released to the public for free under an open source model. Because we believe you shouldn't have to pay to access the compute you already own. We're really excited about this and would love to show you Feather's great potential. Now, I'll hand you off to Abhishek, who will provide you a short technical demonstration of what you can do with Feather today, and to give you a sneak peek of what's to come.
Hello. So I'm Abhishek. I do most of the backend engineering, and we have a bunch of very exciting things in the pipeline, which I want to show you. So first off, is our new 60 FPS screen sharing backend. So let's just see a demo of that in action. It takes a second sometimes. And while we're preparing that, let me show you all. There we go. And this is really, really, really cool stuff. So what this is essentially is using H.264 and a Go library to send streams in 60 FPS over the network, and it works especially well on local networks. Of course, it's kind of hard for you all to see because it has to go over the internet to come to you. But very soon you'll be able to see it in your own computers, and I'm really excited for that. Alongside this, we're also working on something even more interesting. We have a new feature which allows you to share links, like ephemeral links from your computer that somebody else can use to remote into your computer via a browser with 60 FPS. As far as I'm aware, this I think is more or less unique. Let me just show you how it works. Stop that. And I'll just have to go and get the other computer to pass the link over. It's quite a big link right now, but we're working on that. I think. And voila. That's a 60 FPS video feed in a browser over a local network. Far as I'm aware, nothing else does this right now, and it is incredibly powerful in what it enables. Imagine being able to, let's say, have a remote debugging session or something, and you're having some trouble, just send over a link. You're playing a game, you want someone else to join you, send over a link instantly. And yeah, so we're really looking forward to getting that into your hands soon. Thank you very much, and I'll now hand it over to Otis to explain why we're doing this exactly and what we feel is in the future.
Thanks, Abhishek. This demo is merely the beginning for Feather. We want to build on this. As we move further into our development process, we realized that video streaming had some limitations. So we started looking for other solutions out there, and nothing really matched our expectations. We wanted a seamless connection, but what we got was a bit disappointing. Everyone was using video streaming. And now video streaming is the best and most prevalent solution out there. We realized that it could not be where Feather stopped innovating. The reality of consumer-focused distributed computing today is that everything is streamed from either a local computer or a PC in the cloud. Everything is a video stream of an entire desktop, almost everything is latent, everything is pixelated, and nothing feels seamless. When you're interacting with a video stream of an entire desktop from another computer, it doesn't feel like you're extending your own. It feels like you're using two different computers. This is the best the industry has to offer. And while the experience is adequate, solutions like remote desktop or cloud game streaming simply don't feel native, which is why we want to innovate on these technologies. We see its potential, and we want to push it further. We want to create a future where the lag, the distance, the gap, even the distinction between computers is reduced so much that it becomes unnoticeable. To achieve this, first, we need to make one simple and obvious change. The nesting doll-like interfaces of full desktop streaming needs to go. Right now, people are interacting with applications and an operating system with an application within an operating system, all through a video stream. This is absurd. There's a simple solution to this: application streaming. Instead of using nested interfaces and streaming whole desktops, you stream individual applications. Cut out the noise. Give the user exactly what they want. Click a button, open an app, start working. This would be the best way of improving a desktop streaming service today. But we don't want to be the next big remote desktop or game streaming app. We want to be something more. Our vision is to change the future of computing. We want all compute to happen where it's best for it to happen, whether that be on the client, a local computer, a mobile device, or a cloud computer. In the long term, we want to implement true distributed computing. Instead of running applications on a single computer, Feather will run applications across computers. Take, for example, game streaming. With this tech, you could play a game rendered on multiple computers. Game elements that need to be immediately responsive, like character movements, can be rendered on the client, while elements where some lag is acceptable, like backgrounds, can be streamed in from your other local nodes. This means that your devices enhance each other. You can get better performance out of the devices you already own. Or you could start developing a big software project. Many projects written in complex languages like C++ or Rust take a lot of time and power to compile. You could use a remote development environment and suffer the low stream quality and laggy text. Or you could just develop on your local machine, send compile jobs seamlessly to a nearby cloud node, and then just run the compile build when it gets back to you. Distributed computing really means minimal latency across computers because of crisp, locally rendered interfaces. It means more power because of partial video streaming of complex tasks. It means more speed because of seamless remote compiling and render jobs. It means that you get a better development experience. You can play bigger games on weaker devices. You don't have to worry about software crashing or appearing pixelated. Devices can become smaller, more battery efficient, more powerful. Your devices can just become better, just better. This is a better system. So why doesn't this exist? Well, because there's no infrastructure. In recent years, Wi-Fi 6 has made networking a lot faster. Companies like Amazon have pushed the cloud and consumers a lot closer, and people have a lot more devices in their household. This means that the average consumer now has enough computers near them and fast enough network speeds to effectively connect all their devices and form their own personal network of computers for sharing data and compute. Here we find the perfect conditions for distributed computing to flourish. But the developer infrastructure is holding it back. Right now, application developers have no way of knowing what this client network is going to look like. And on top of that, they don't know how they should go about distributing work across this network. Multi-computer client environments are unreliable. So if we can make them reliable, we get consumer-ready distributed computing. That's why we're starting with video streaming. We're trying to get a product out there that can capture a sizable portion of the market. When computers with Feather software on them are basically everywhere, we can become a trusted layer that developers can use to make software that runs on multiple computers. Feather will govern work distribution across untrusted client environments and run code in trusted sandbox environments with technologies like WebAssembly. So all the developer needs to do is define the parts of their apps that will be rendered locally and the parts that will be rendered on the network. Feather will take care of the rest. No more unreliable client environments. As a first step towards this goal, in the next few years, we're building API libraries that enable developers to create software that distributes across networks seamlessly. Developers who create with Feather will be able to ship apps that perform great right out of the box. And users who run Feather will get an automatic performance boost on all their devices, anywhere on their network. The cool part is that these networks can include anything from hyperlocal computers to servers and data farms. Theoretically, with this software model, users could be working, playing, collaborating across any node running Feather. Theoretically, Feather nodes could be everywhere. In the coming years, we will graduate from application streaming. And when we do, we want to create an environment where Feather is everywhere. We want to strike deals with bigger institutions like cell phone carriers, public services, and infrastructure companies to pre-package Feather with their products. Looking into the distant future, we plan to integrate Feather nodes into data centers and 5G towers and develop dedicated Feather hardware to truly connect everything. We want Feather to blur the lines between server and client, to bring to reality a paradigm where compute will happen where it's best for it to happen, separate from infrastructure or cloud vendors. We are excited for the day where everyone and everything has access to the data they need and the processing power they deserve. From smart homes to delivery drones to your smartphones and wearables. Through Feather, everything will be powerful by default. We're excited for this future, and we would love to have you join us in bringing it to reality. Thanks.
All right. Thank you all for coming. We're super excited for our first event and would really, once again, like to thank everyone for attending. While it's technically the end of the event, we will be doing some guided demonstrations to check out the alpha down in the breakout rooms down below. Once we stop sharing the video, you guys can come check it out. Feel free to meet the team and ask any questions to feel what the application feels like. All right, we'll see you guys in a breakout room, or if you guys are busy, no problem at all. Thank you.
Thank you for coming, everyone. Thank you.
Yo, Yichen, what's up?
Kyle,
Hey.
did you record the event?
Yes.
That was so
Excellent,
cool.
excellent.
Hello.
Thank you, Kyle.
Hi.
All right, let me hopefully.